Today I will be explaining the four geologic principles, and I will also tell you what uniformitarianism is. Uniformitarianism is the concept that Earth's processes have stayed the same throughout geological time. That means that how things happen have stayed the same and they will always stay the same. One example is the laying of rock. Rock has always been laid the same way as it always will be and always has been. The first principle is the law of superposition. As you can see in this diagram, layer D is the oldest because it's on the bottom, and over time other layers are laid on top of it, such as C, B, and A. A is the newest because it was laid down last. Just remember this: down with the old and up with the new. Next, I will be explaining the principle of lateral continuity. Lateral continuity says that strata should extend out in all directions until naturally thins out or acted on by another natural process. This is an example of a canyon. This all used to be rock, but water kept wearing the rock down, so it naturally thinned out because of a natural occurrence. So now, instead of the rock being full, it got cut. Next, I will be explaining the principle of cross-cutting relationships. This states that rocks form and other rocks can cut through them, but the rock that cuts through the other rocks is younger because these rocks can't just form around this. So that means that these rocks would had to have formed, and then this rock would come from below, and A would cut through B, C, and D. Finally, I will be explaining the principle of faunal succession. If you find a fossil in a rock and you don't know where it came from, you can find that same fossil in a full strata of rocks, and you can date the rock around it and the fossil by looking at the whole strata. You know that this fossil is younger than this one because this one's on top. That will help you date it. This also shows that a fossil will show up in the same time period of which it dies, because it takes a long time for a rock to form a layer of rock, and it takes a long time for the animal to fossilize. Uniformitarianism takes place in all of these principles because they all happen the same way as they did millions of years ago.